I want to run you guys down this market recap. We didn't take any trade. We did have an opportunity, but that opportunity never tapped our entry and just hit our draw on liquidity. This is my market recap, right? It was an interesting day, right? Yesterday there was a SMT divergence with a big ass SMT divergence. They call it a pair, right? With GU, GU did not, soup out any lows. It just went up higher, right? While EU just went down, soup out the low. Did not let the Monday being the low. Monday did not become low of the week, so it just you know it spiraled up. So I thought that next day I'm gonna have a bullish bias because of the S&P divergence. Eventually, just came right back down trembling. Right, as you guys know, we trade only New York session, so the session before that, it could do what his thing, right? So all we care was the New York session, right? So New York session came out and instantly disrespected the, what I'm saying, the previous day's low, right? So I was like, okay, it's showing me clear buy bearish sign. So the S&P divergence did not even hold. So looking for shorts here, right? I was looking for a KOD here, KOD to the weekly low, but you can see he never offered as a KOD. He just went back up. Why? First of all, he did a big ass move to the downside. Second of all, what I'm saying? That's why we have our rules there, right? Our rules prevent us from taking trades, bro. Like, saying our rules give us setups that are actually going to cause huge expansion in the market, not cause bad expansion, right? So, such as this will cause a huge expansion to the upside. So, we're waiting for it to be a sniper, right? Like, I'm saying? We got to snipe that shit. No, they're not that way, okay? So, we got a sniper. I don't know the quote, but we're snipers, right? So, yeah, that was that. We had a let's go over our narrative to why we're looking for a short here. We go to the weekly time frame, weekly ERL, right over here to IRL. We had a weekly CRT to the downside as well. We had a classic profile 1 to the downside, Tuesday high of the week. So we're looking for a Thursday/Friday continuation. In this case, Friday night hit the drone liquidity, which was low. We're looking for a Friday continuation as well. I'm looking for the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour range high, range low. How does the range high? How does the range low? Simply because this is the weekly CRT high. It's weekly CRT low, right? Why is our range and nothing else over here? Because, as I said, there's a weekly CRT high and weekly CRT low. Now we're testing a 4-hour time frame. We're supposed to build narrative to our drone liquidity, right? So we have a range. We had a bearish order flow. Broke below the lows right over here. What else do we have here? We have a New York continuation. If I'm bearish, I want the agency to make the high of the day, not the low of the day. In this case, he made the high of the day, so I'm looking for a New York continuation. We had a hourly IRL to ERL, and that was pretty much it, right? Nothing else, but that was enough. As long as we have range there, that's all we care about, right? A range dynamic and a CRT there, that's all we should care about, right? Because those alone makes a really high probability. Alone with just the range dynamic alone makes the probability of the setup working out in your favor by a huge margin. Because as you guys know, ranges, highs and lows is what controls the market, right? You can see right over here, the 5-minute time frame at this high right over here, right? We did not have the at the outlet CRT high. We didn't have a legit high there, right? So I'm looking for this high to get souped, right? When I had to get souped, I'm looking for another bearish candle, and I'm looking for that bearish candle to get souped, right? So this bearish candle made a market, made another legit high and soup out that high. You can see those who entered too early got stopped out, right? That's why we got our rules here, right? So a legit high got souped, eventually waiting for a model 1 confirmation. This is an unusual form of model 1. You can see this candle is an unusual form. I usually would see this candle close a bullish candle, then the next candle closing bearish. In this case, it's closed bearish, right? So it's an unusual form. So this candle, regardless, this bullish candle helped it soup out this high, right? Eventually made another high, so this candle still helped it out push out this high as well. Which if I see this next time and I take a trade and it goes on a loss, I would know why, because that's an unusual form. So that's a part of the lesson. Would probably be a look for a clear model 1, not unusual forms, right? So that was an unusual form because the market came all the way down. Now for us, never tapped the entry here, right? Just went up a little bit, OTE, then another expansion. Eventually, market would decide to go back up because, I'm saying, it didn't want to go any lower from here because we had a weekly CRT here, right? Weekly CRT low right over here. And you can see since the market did a big push to the downside already on just on a daily time frame, it needs to retrace, right? So we were high likely not seeing this get tapped anyways, simply because of the, I'm saying, market doing a big ass expansion, right? So That could have been the lesson right over there. We could possibly have a kiss of death tomorrow, right? Tap this 4 hour for gap and have a KOD out of that, right? But what else do we do? What is the lesson of the day? The lesson of the day is do not force trade, right? Because I tried to force that OTE for some reason, right? I was trying to pass the challenge. I only needed like 0.40%, to pass this 5K challenge and pass and I needed 5% to pass the 50K challenge. I was like, let me see if I could, let me see what could work, right? Yes, it did work, right? But guess what? It's not in my system. So if it's not in my system, why the fuck am I longing it or shorting it, right? I have to be, I'm saying, disciplined, right? So that's the lesson. I cannot force trades. And I saw a lot of you guys, they came to my stream. And I mean, there's nothing much. It's just a market recap, right? There was literally nothing really much that happened. I know that trader took a short here and he's currently facing a loss simply because he's forcing a trade, right? Our system is not there. Our system is not there. Why are you going to take a trade? Our drone look already got met, right? And another lesson we can have is since this candle is such a big ass candle, right? Like 50%, negative 50% candle, negative 0.50% candle, right? It would have been realistic just for us to go to the, just to the CRT low. It would have been, just going to the CRT low of the, 6 a.m. candle would have been the best option, not over here. Because if I were, let's just say, hypothetically, right, I enter this trade, take a short, and I try to go all the way down here, I would have faced a literally small partial and small win, right? I could have avoided that and put big partial here and make big gains is simply by going for right over here as a take profit. Why? Because the market, daily time frame did a big expansion, right? So that could have been a lesson as well. So when the market has a big expansion upside or downside, and saying market needs to close in a fair price, so market needs to go back up, retrace. I should go for a risk take profit and call it a day because market has already expanded so much in that specific day. So that could have been a lesson as well. That's my market recap. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.